Secrets of the Millionaire Mind: Mastering the Inner Game of Wealth by Harv Eker reveals how to change your internal money blueprint to think and act like the rich rather than the poor or middle class. It compares the mindsets of millionaires with the patterns of those who fail, offering 17 wealth files, simple declarations and exercises for reprogramming the subconscious for success, investment, and responsibility. It is worth reading if you want to overcome financial barriers, form habits of wealth, and start earning more regardless of external circumstances. Eker, a Canadian businessman, was born into a poor family and moved to the US, where he experienced many business failures before becoming a millionaire in 2.5 years by creating a financial mindset program. The book, published in 2005, became a bestseller in 33 countries, and his seminars were attended by millions, although critics accused the author of oversimplification. Interestingly, Eker founded Peak Potentials Training, where he coached millionaires. And all proceeds from the book go to charity, helping to change the lives of thousands of people. Rule 1. Wealth files. Your financial situation is determined by internal attitudes that form your financial blueprint. Subconscious beliefs about money. These beliefs, inherited from family or environment, can limit success if they are negative. Understanding this blueprint is the first step toward financial freedom. Determine your beliefs about money by writing down what you heard about it in childhood. For example, money is evil, or the rich are greedy. Understand how these thoughts influence your actions and start changing them through awareness. This opens the way to a new mindset about wealth. For example, the book describes a person who considered money evil and avoided it, but realizing this, began to save and invest. Another case is a woman who changed the belief wealth is for others and opened a business. Your financial blueprint manages your money. Become aware of it to start the journey to wealth. Rule 2, your financial blueprint. The financial blueprint is formed through words, actions, and emotions that you absorbed in the past, and they either support wealth or keep you in poverty. To become rich, you need to reprogram these attitudes, replacing negative ones with those used by millionaires. This requires awareness and constant self-improvement. Write down your negative beliefs about money and replace them with positive ones. For example, instead of money is hard to earn, think money comes easily. Repeat the new beliefs daily and reinforce them with actions, such as budgeting. This changes your blueprint step by step. For example, in the book, a person replaced the attitude, "I am not worthy of wealth," with "I attract abundance," and began to invest, increasing income. Another case is a seminar participant who rewrote beliefs and doubled savings in a year. Reprogram your blueprint. New beliefs will lead you to financial success. Rule 3, committed or just interested. Wealth requires firm commitment, not just interest, as only resolve drives action despite difficulties. Commitment means setting clear goals and a readiness to work to achieve them. This distinguishes millionaires from dreamers who only want but do not do. Set a specific financial goal, for example, accumulate $1 million in 5 years, and make an action plan. Make decisions with commitment, not from fear, and take a step toward the goal every day, even a small one. This turns desire into reality. For example, the book describes a person who decided to become a millionaire and began saving 10% of his income, achieving the goal in 10 years. Another case is a woman who committed to opening a business instead of just dreaming. Commitment is your engine. Resolve to become rich and act to make it happen. Rule 4, the process for change your financial blueprint. Changing the financial blueprint requires 4 steps: awareness, understanding, disassociation, and declaration. Become aware of negative beliefs. Understand their source. Disassociate yourself from them by recognizing they are not yours, and replace them with declarations that support wealth. This is the process of restructuring thinking for financial success. Practice these steps every day. Write down one limiting belief. Find its root, for example, in parents' words, and tell yourself, that is not me. Then loudly declare a new declaration. For example, I attract wealth, and reinforce it with an action, like an investment. This restructures your subconscious. For example, the book describes a person who became aware of the belief money corrupts people, understood it came from his father, and replaced it with money helps me grow, starting to save. Another case is a seminar participant who increased income threefold through declarations. The process of changing the blueprint is your key. Practice the steps and wealth will become closer. Rule 5. Rich people believe I create my life. Poor people believe life happens to me. Rich people take responsibility for everything in their lives, understanding that their thoughts and actions form reality, including finances. Poor people blame external forces, such as the government or luck, which leaves them passive and without control. This belief changes the approach to money, making you the creator of your wealth. Repeat the declaration, I create my life daily to strengthen responsibility. When facing financial difficulties, ask yourself, what can I do? Instead of looking for culprits. This switches the focus from complaints to actions that lead to success. For example, the book describes a millionaire who lost everything, but by taking responsibility, restored his fortune by creating new sources of income. Another case is a poor person blaming the system, who remains in poverty because he waits for external changes. Responsibility is your tool for creating wealth. Take it on, and life will begin to change. Rule 6. Rich people play the money game to win. Poor people play the money game to not lose. Rich people set ambitious goals for growth and abundance, taking risks for big rewards, while the poor avoid losses, limiting themselves to safe but low profit actions. This mindset determines the scale of success. A focus on winning attracts opportunities, and the fear of losing keeps you in mediocrity. Switching to playing to win requires courage and a vision of a big future. Set the goal to become a millionaire, not just to survive and take calculated risks, such as investments or a new business. When you fear loss, remind yourself, winning is worth the risk, and act. This expands your horizons and attracts wealth. For example, in the book, a millionaire invested everything in a project, risking bankruptcy, but won millions because he played to win. Another case is a person avoiding risk, who remained with a small salary playing defense. Play to win. Take risks, and wealth will gravitate toward you. Rule 7. Rich people focus on opportunities. Poor people focus on obstacles. Rich people see a chance for growth in every situation, focusing on what is possible, while the poor are fixated on problems, paralyzing action. This mindset creates a cycle. Opportunities bring success, and obstacles stagnation. Changing the focus opens the doors to new income and solutions. Look for a lesson or a chance in difficulties, asking, what is useful here? Instead of, why is this happening to me? Record 3 opportunities in your life every day to train this view. This turns challenges into steps toward wealth. For example, in the book, a millionaire lost his job but saw an opportunity to open a business, which made him rich. Another case is a person complaining about the economy, who missed a chance for investment and remained poor. Focus on opportunities is your magnet for success. Look at chances, and they will multiply. Rule 8. Rich people admire other rich and successful people. Poor people resent rich and successful people. Rich people learn from the successful, admiring their achievements as inspiration for themselves, while the poor envy, seeing them as a threat or injustice, which blocks growth. Admiration motivates copying strategies, and envy destroys motivation. This belief shapes the environment and attitude toward money. Admire millionaires, studying their books or stories, and think, I can do that too. When you catch envy, turn it into a question. What can I learn from them? This builds positivity and attracts success. For example, in the book, A rich person studied the biographies of tycoons and applied their methods, increasing his fortune. Another case is an envious poor person who criticized the rich and remained without progress. Admiration is the fuel for growth. Learn from the rich, and you will become one of them. Rule 9. Rich people associate with positive, successful people. Poor people associate with negative or unsuccessful people. The environment influences your thinking and actions. Positive, successful people inspire growth, while negative ones drag you down, amplifying poverty. The rich choose a network of contacts that supports ambitions. The poor remain in a toxic circle of complaints. Changing the environment accelerates the path to wealth. Seek out and socialize with successful people through clubs or seminars, and limit time with negative ones. Ask questions. How did you achieve this? To learn. This creates a network of support for your success. For example, in the book, a millionaire surrounded himself with entrepreneurs and doubled his income through their advice. Another case is a person in the company of whiners who got stuck in poverty due to general pessimism. The environment is your booster. Associate with the successful, and wealth will come faster. Rule: rich people are dedicated to full responsibility for their finances. Poor people blame external circumstances. Rich people control their finances, recognizing that their choices determine the result, while the poor shift the blame to the government, boss, or luck, remaining victims. Responsibility gives the power to change the situation, while blame gives passivity. This belief turns failures into lessons for success. Take responsibility for every expense and income, asking, what can I improve? Create a financial plan and follow it without excuses. This gives control and accelerates progress. For example, in the book, a rich person took responsibility for an investment failure and adjusted the strategy, earning more. Another case is a poor person blaming inflation, who did not change habits and remained penniless. Responsibility is your strength. Take it on, and finances will submit to you. Rule 11. Rich people think both. Poor people think either or. Rich people see the world in terms of abundance, where you can have both success and happiness, while the poor limit themselves to a choice, thinking they must sacrifice one for the other. This mindset allows the rich to combine goals, such as earning a lot and enjoying life, without compromise. Switching to both opens up more opportunities and reduces sacrifices. Look for ways to combine, asking, how can I have both money and freedom, instead of either or? Practice this in decisions. For example, investing in a business that brings both income and joy. This expands your vision and attracts more. For example, in the book, a millionaire created a company that brought profit and gave time for family, thinking both. Another case is a person who thought either career or hobby, who got stuck in mediocrity. The abundance mindset is your expander. Think both, and opportunities will multiply. Rule 12. Rich people focus on their goals. Poor people focus on their expenses. Rich people focus on goals, such as income, growth, and investments, which attracts money, while the poor are fixated on spending and saving, remaining in deficit. This belief teaches you to put goals ahead of expenses, so money follows the vision. Changing the focus changes financial reality. Set goals, for example, to double your income, and direct energy toward achieving them, rather than counting pennies. Remind yourself of goals daily through visualization so that expenses adjust to them. This creates a flow of abundance. For example, in the book, a person focused on the goal of becoming a millionaire, invested, and achieved it instead of saving on trifles. Another case is a poor person fixated on expenses who did not grow financially. Focus on goals is your magnet for money. Look at the vision, and expenses will be settled. Rule 13. Rich people like to serve. Poor people try to get. Rich people create value for others, seeing service as a path to wealth, while the poor focus on getting, which limits their income. Service through products or services brings rewards proportional to the benefit. This belief teaches you to give to receive more. Look for ways to serve, asking, how can I help people? And build a business around it. Do more than expected so that clients return and recommend. This multiplies your success. For example, in the book, a millionaire created courses, helping thousands and earned millions through this service. Another case is a person waiting to receive, who remained without growth. Service is your path to abundance. Give value, and wealth will return tenfold. Rule 14. Rich people learn from their mistakes. Poor people try to avoid them. Rich people see mistakes as lessons for growth, analyzing them to improve, while the poor fear mistakes and avoid risks remaining in place. Mistakes are part of the path to success if you extract knowledge from them. This belief encourages action despite the fear of failure. Analyze mistakes, asking, what did I learn? And apply the lessons in the next steps. Take risks, knowing that failure is a teacher, and keep moving. This accelerates your progress toward wealth. For example, in the book, a millionaire lost money on investments, but learned a lesson, and the next deal brought millions. Another case is a person avoiding risks, who did not try new things and remained poor. Mistakes are your teachers. Learn from them, and success will come faster. Rule 15. Rich people think long-term, poor people think short-term. Rich people plan years ahead, investing in the future, while the poor seek quick pleasures, which keeps them in poverty. Long-term thinking allows you to create sustainable sources of income. This teaches patience and strategic vision. Plan for 5 to 10 years, setting goals like retirement or a business, and invest accordingly. Avoid impulsive spending, thinking, how will this affect my future? This builds stable wealth. For example, in the book, a person invested in education, which brought high income years later. Another case is a poor person who spent on lotteries, who remained without savings. Long-term thinking is your foundation. Plan ahead, and wealth will grow. Rule 16. Rich people want to constantly learn and grow. Poor people think they know enough. Rich people learn all their lives, seeing knowledge as the key to growth, while the poor consider themselves experts and stop developing. Continuous learning opens up new opportunities and income. This belief motivates attending seminars and reading books. Read books on finance and attend courses to grow, even if successful. Ask experts questions and apply new knowledge. This multiplies your potential. For example, in the book, a millionaire attended seminars and applied the ideas, doubling his business. Another case is a person who considered himself smart, who missed trends and went bankrupt. Learning is your growth. Learn always, and wealth will follow. Rule 17, rich people manage their money. Poor people mismanage their money. Rich people control finances through budgets and investments, while the poor allow money to dictate life, spending without a plan. Money management gives freedom and capital growth. This teaches discipline and strategy. Create a budget allocating for investments and savings, and track spending. Study finances so money works for you. This gives control and abundance. For example, in the book, a millionaire managed the budget and invested, becoming rich. Another case is a person who spent without control, who remained in debt, manage money. Become the master, and it will multiply. Rule 18. Rich people act in spite of fear. Poor people let fear stop them. Rich people understand that fear is a natural emotion, but do not let it stop action, seeing it as a signal for growth, while the poor avoid risk out of fear and remain in place. Action, in spite of fear, develops confidence and opens doors to wealth. This belief teaches you to use fear as motivation, not a barrier. Act in small steps when you are afraid. For example, invest a small amount to get used to the risk. Repeat, I act in spite of fear, and analyze positive outcomes so that fear weakens. This turns paralyzing fear into an ally. For example, in the book, a person was afraid of investments, but started small and became a millionaire. Another case is a poor person paralyzed by the fear of failure who never tried anything new. Action conquers fear. Step forward and wealth will follow. Rule 19. Rich people give abundantly. Poor people hold on to everything. Rich people give generously, understanding that it attracts more, creating a cycle of abundance, while the poor cling to every penny out of fear of loss. Generosity enhances the feeling of abundance and opens new opportunities. This belief teaches that by giving, you receive in return. Give 10% of your income to charity or aid to create a flow of abundance. Repeat, I give abundantly and I receive abundantly. And notice how it returns. This strengthens the belief in abundance. For example, in the book, a millionaire donated 10% and attracted more business. Another case is a poor person clinging to money who remained in poverty. Generosity is the magnet of wealth. Give more, and you will receive in return. Rule 20. Rich people look for work they love. Poor people look for work they love to quit. Rich people choose work that brings joy and income, seeing it as a calling, while the poor focus on rest and survival, which limits growth. Loved work makes you energetic and successful. This belief teaches you to combine passion and profit. Look for work that you love and monetize it. For example, turn a hobby into a business. Repeat, I love my work and I earn from it to attract opportunities. This makes life full and rich. For example, in the book, a person turned a passion for fitness into a chain of clubs and became a millionaire. Another case is a poor person waiting for retirement who did not grow. Loved work is the key to success. Find it and wealth will come. Rule 21. Rich people are excellent receivers. Poor people are poor receivers. Rich people know how to accept money, compliments, and help, feeling worthy, while the poor reject them due to low self-esteem. The ability to receive enhances the flow of abundance. This belief teaches you to be open to receiving. Accept compliments and help with gratitude, repeating, I am worthy to receive. Practice accepting small gifts to develop the skill. This attracts more blessings. For example, in the book, a millionaire accepted investments and grew. Another case is a poor person who rejected help, remaining without support. Receiving is your channel of abundance. Be open and wealth will flow. This is such a wonderful book. I have compiled a separate list of all the important theses from this book, along with all the techniques and tools, and created a step-by-step action plan that you can immediately implement in your life. You can get all this in my community, Place of Power. There, you will find a detailed text analysis with similar lists for each book being reviewed. The community has already thoroughly analyzed and made available to you hundreds of world bestsellers, with a new analysis released every day. Follow the link in the description and use it.